All right. Hello, everybody. AOA, how are y'all doing? It's time to go back, not just to Tokihogushi, but to Hinamizawa as last time on Tokihogushi. Tomoe has returned, or should I say, I don't think she's ever been there before in her own life, to Hinamizawa. I am great, OA. Everything's fine. Thank you so much. Alright, so last time she actually encountered, I don't know what it is with fate and that biker gang and their motorcycles being knocked over and somebody saving somebody from the biker gang, but this time it was Tomoe saving Natsumi from the biker gang. That was a lovely little cameo to remind us, she's still relevant in these console arcs, in this whole story sequence here that is going to end in Miyotsukushi. I really am loving so far Tokiogushi's. Basically, they're kind of melding back into the main arcs with Tomoe investigating Reina, and I can't wait to see how that fares. Also, I'm kind of split on who the villain, the console arc villain will be, because I'm pretty sure they've got to have their own villain, right? Because it's not just going to be the same person who it was in the main arcs. It's either going to be the police chief, or it's going to be her boyfriend her old boyfriend from high school who looks suspiciously like Adachi from Persona 4. It's one of those two. I'm pretty sure it's going to be. Because just the way they introduced him and the look they gave him, even though he was so friendly to her and I don't know, he just screams like I'm secretly evil or something like that later. So anyway, let's get back into it. Hello, Void Dweller. Welcome to the stream.
先ほどお話ししたHinamizawaダム戦争の跡地ですよ。
This is the side of the Hinamizawa Dam War I told you about earlier.
つわものどもがとシャレ込むには風情のない光景ですがね。
The tasteless scene where warriors clashed. Tomoe and Uishi stepped out of the car and stood in front of the site. Hello, T. Welcome to the stream. It was a mountain of garbage, filled with scrap and bulky trash. It was completely different from the scenic village. A sad place, almost like ruins. Apparently, the villagers rarely visited here. Of course, why would they? It's a freaking dump. So the soil was abundantly filled with weeds. The huge volume of garbage was probably dumped here illegally by people from nearby towns and villages. I'm surprised that nobody's ever tried to steal all this perfectly decent looking construction equipment. After people left things here, they remained here untouched and permanently exposed to the elements. What an eyesore. Has nobody taken any action about this social problem?
まあ余ってる土地は山ほどありますし、お役所も手続きが面倒だからと腰が重いです。
Well, there's a lot of surplus land in the mountains, and the procedures for government official offices to deal with it are far too troublesome. Government bureaucracy and all that. Don't worry, they're installing fax machines soon. You know what a fax machine is? It's this futuristic gizmo where you freaking type in a phone number and you put a piece of paper through, and the person on the other side gets the paper. I'm gonna tell them to use these forever, and never ever, no matter how much better technology gets, we are gonna stick to these fax machines, because I am god darn sure nothing will ever be better than them.
声を上げれば、じゃあお前が何とかしろって話にもなりかねませんからね。やぶへびはごめんってやつですよ。
If y'all speak up about it, they'll just say, then why don't you do something about it? So it'll have the opposite effect.
もっとも実際にはダム戦争当時の自演をやりすぎて後処理に困って放置なんですから馬鹿げた話なんですが
But the truth is, darling, after putting on the charade of the damn war, their subsequent embarrassment led them to neglect the post-processing procedures. It's an absurd story.
遅延ですか？
Charade, you say? Uishi nodded and said, "Yeah," in response to Tomoe's question, then lit a cigarette. According to his story, the illegal dumping at this trash heap was connected to the dam opposition movement. Since crooked businessmen were illegally dumping bulky trash and industrial waste at this site outside the village, they established a checkpoint to defend it. I see. So that's why nobody's taken any of the stuff there, because of the checkpoint. In fact, the problem of illegal dumping had apparently been going on for a long time, so they had a strong argument for it. However, it was never about industrial trash. Rather, the main objective was to stop construction-related vehicles for inspection and delay the progress of the construction project.
実際チクチクと書類を見せろとか積み荷の数を確かめるとか言って結構なタイムロスを稼いでいましたからね
In fact, they lost a tremendous amount of time to reviews of official documents and verifying the quantity of cargo.
現場監督さんはいつも怒っていたものです
The on-site manager was constantly upset about it. It's like everybody was telling, "Don't lose your head, don't lose your head." And he was like, "Oh no, that won't happen," but, well, you know the rest of the story.
親方日の丸の偉方は反対運動の住民代表をなだめつつも一方では工事の遅れは一日でも取り返せと現場の責任者に言明していましたからね
Although the big shot government officials tried to appeal to the residents in the opposition movement, they also placed a person in charge of the site with the responsibility of recovering construction delays, even if just by a single day.
酒が入るたびよくそうこぼしていましたよ
When y'all drink, you let your emotions show.
大石さんはその現場監督さんと親しかったのですか？
Oishi-san, did you know this on-site manager?
うん古くからの友人でした
Yeah, he was a very old friend.
年上の兄貴のような親父のような厳しいけれど人情味のあるいい人でしてね
Yeah, for anyone who's played Matsuda Bayashi, you know about him. Like an older brother, or father. He was strict, but he was a good man with a warm heart.
いろいろと教わったものですよ
I learned a lot from him.
そう例えるならともいちゃんと山沖さんあれはちょっと僭越ですが私とともいちゃんのような関係って言えばいいのかな
That's right. It's like your relationship with Yamauchi-san, Tomoe-chan. Or if it's not too presumptuous of me to say, like your relationship with me. Just then, Tomoe suddenly remembered. Uishi told her about the curse of Ueshido-sama murder from 3 years ago when they were at the coffee shop earlier. That's where they are, Void Dweller. That's where they are. They are at Hinamizawa, actually. That's right. The victim in that case was the on-site manager of the dam construction project, wasn't it?
大石さんまさかその人って
Oishi-san. No way. That man was...
ええそうです
Yep. That's right.
3年前の綿流しの夜このゴミ山のどこかで殺されました
He was killed somewhere in this mountain of garbage on the night of Tokihogushi 3 years ago.
死体はバラバラにされて腕が1本まだ発見されていません
Corpse is dismembered. One arm still hasn't been recovered.
そんな
It can't be. Tomoe looked toward Oishi, utterly at a loss for words. He smoked a cigarette while staring at the mountain of garbage, gazing at the former dam construction site.
毎年毎年今年こそは犯人を捕まえてやる。
Year after year, I say that this is the year I'll catch the culprit.
そしてもうこれ以上たたりの犠牲者は出さない。
And that the curse won't claim any more victims.
そう呆然に誓ってやってきましたがね。
I swore that in front of his grave.
結局今年も出しちまった。
And in the end, it happened again this year.
そして働きの毒な男の子の未来まで奪っちまった。
And it robbed the future of a poor boy.
そう思うたびに胸がね
Every
痛
time
く
I
なるんですよ。
goddamn pauses. Every time I think about it, my chest aches.
大石さん
Oishi-san.
ともえちゃんは偉いな。
I admire you, Tomoe-chan.
こんな気持ちを11年間ずっと持ち続けていたなんて。
Even after 11 years, you still haven't lost your convictions.
私はまだ3年なのに犯人への怒りと憎しみで時々自分がどうにかなりそうになる。
Even though it's only been 3 years in my case, sometimes I ask myself how I'll be able to manage.
あなたはその3倍から4倍だ。
For y'all, it's been 3 or 4 times that.
私だったらきっと耐えられない。
There's no way I could bear it if I was in your position.
自分がその立場に立ってみて改めて尊敬しますよ。
Standing in your position has given me even more respect for you.
私だって
Me too. God damn that sound effect. Such a stupid sound. What is that supposed to even be? It's like rubber stretching. Like, it's like, did they have a sound library of a total of 3 sounds when coming up with that? The freaking sound effects for the console arcs? Like, seriously, it's the gun, this, and I can't even think of a third one. Like, the cocking of the gun, this, and I can't, like, seriously. This is a really good scene, too. And I hate that that is taking me out of it. Tomoe closed her eyes and bit her lip. If she had to challenge her parents' enemy completely on her own, how would she have managed? Surely by now she would have given in to despair, navigating the labyrinth of the unknown, or continue pursuing it until it broke her. Tomoe was able to keep working hard until today, thanks to Uishi and Yamaoki, and because she had Madoka. But Uishi was shouldering that burden on his own. There was no easy way to say which experience was more painfully difficult. Anger, hatred, and revenge. Constantly thinking those thoughts and enduring the pain and suffering over and over again. I surely said it was everything to me. But I've said many times, it's not possible to move on until I overcome this. But sometimes you get anxious. I wonder if the world lying beyond this is really the world I want to see. So, I understand. The pain bearing down on Uishi's shoulders, and the weight of his sorrow. Oh, abrupt cut.
大石さん
There we go. Uishi-san.
はい。
Yeah.
こんなことを大石さんに言える立場じゃないって分かっているんですが、
I understand that it's not really my position to say this, but even so,
もし私で何かお役に立てることがあったら何でも言ってください。
if there's anything I can do to help you, please tell me.
どんなことがあってもできる限りのお力添えはさせていただきます。
No matter what happens, I'll do everything in my power to help.
ともえちゃん。
Tomoe-chan. Uishi stomped out a cigarette, then turned to Tomoe with a tranquil expression. His eyes had a brilliant, clear shine to them that exemplified his strong will. Uishi gazed off somewhere, searching through his memories, then quickly arrived at one. That was the detective from the Metropolitan Police Department who turned him over 10 years ago, with strong eyes as sharp as a knife. Let's go, Uishi-san! Even now, he couldn't forget the fearless smile on his face as he said that. At the time, he certainly understood through experience that justice was an easy thing to forget. There, then, the sight of him rushing through a storm of bullets without hesitation, gun in hand, in order to protect a comrade. Seeing the look in his eyes at the time, moved into tears, for the first time in ages. So much stronger. Uishi remembered the first time he met Tomoe. Honestly, at that time he was worried that she was a delicate girl who couldn't endure the tragedy of losing her family. But look at her now. Her petite, unassuming body was stretched tall and full of vitality, and she even had the compassion to be concerned about him. After 11 years, that image of a frail fledgling was completely gone. Living such a long life, when Uishi looked at her, he could feel the warmth from the bottom of his heart.
ねえ、助かります。
Yes. Thank you for the help.
ともえちゃんにそう言ってもらえると、まだまだ頑張ろうって気になりますよ。
Just hearing all say that makes me want to push myself even harder.
うん。
また大げさだな。
You're exaggerating again.
もっとも書き打ちで大石さんたちにどんなお手伝いができるかまだよくわかりませんが。
Although, I really don't know how much help I can be from Higurashi, but...
あれ
Huh?
どうしました？
What is this, Spanish? With a question mark in front of the sentence? Huh? What's wrong?
あれ女の子ですよね。
Yup, this is Rena's place. Is that a girl? Uishi looked in the direction Tomoe was pointing. The view was partially hidden behind the shadow of the oversized trash. But it was just as Tomoe said. Someone with a girlish figure was looking down on into the slope of the garbage mountain, and her hair swayed as she tried to pull something out.
こんなところで一体何をしているんでしょう。
What on earth is she doing in a place like this?
あれはおそらく例の竜宮レイナじゃないでしょうか。
That's probably the girl in this case. Reina Ryuugu.
あれが
Huh? That's her. After hearing Uishi's answer, Tomoe looked back at the girl once again, She could tell it was a girl from her skirt-like clothing, but she was too far away to get a good look at her appearance.
こんなに遠いのによくわかりましたね。
You can tell from this far away.
顔を見えるんですか？
Could you see her face?
いえ、でも間違いないでしょ
Nope, but there is no doubt about it.
う。こんなところに来る女の子なんて他にはいませんからね。
No other girl will come to a place like this.
住民や子供たちから聞いた話だと、休みの日や放課後に時々ここでああやってゴミを掘り起こしたりしているそうです。
I've heard from the residents and the other children. She sometimes comes here to dig up trash on her days off and after school.
ゴミを何のために？
Trash? What for?
さあ、本人は宝探しをしているらしくて、気に入ったものを見つけたときは自宅に持ち帰っているとのことです。
Well, it seems like she's hunting for treasure. When she finds something she likes, she takes it home with her. You know, homo chikari.
趣味とも言えなくもないんですが、一部では気候とも言われていますね。
Might say it's a hobby, but in part, you could call it eccentric behavior.
気候ですか？
Eccentric behavior? It certainly was peculiar. It was unusual for girls of her age to pick up trash, much less take it home. Of course, there could still be usable tools and appliances in there, and it wasn't impossible to find cute things like stuffed animals. However, a common thought among adolescents stood an aversion to things they consider unclean. They wouldn't want to touch something dirty, but that wasn't all. It's only a slight exaggeration to say that they would declare something unclean and refuse to accept it as their own property because someone else had touched it or used it once. Nevertheless, Reina Ryuugu enjoyed collecting garbage as a hobby, just as the villagers said. What was the meaning behind this act? Does she have some unique sense of value, or something else? No. Tomoe had a memory of something she read in a book long ago. When people feel a sense of alienation or loneliness, they have a tendency to fill their living space with other people, animals, or things in general. One theory suggested that behavior originated from the flocking instinct of animals. They say humans are stressed by empty spaces and environments. They're always connected with something, so they can't be mentally stable unless they feel something close to them. So even those living isolated from society will become agitated after just a few days if left alone in an empty space with nothing but food. Decorating a room with flowers and pictures, or keeping an animal as a pet, are typical examples of this phenomenon. And, when that pressing mental condition is consistently nurtured, they say it can manifest as excessive greed. A wealthy person extravagantly spends their money like flowing water. This seemingly wasteful act is actually necessary to maintain their mental stability. Additionally, even those without wealth will spend on debt after debt if suddenly given a lump sum, sometimes even leading down the road to ruin. However, not wanting to waste things in their living environment, or when surrounded by people they don't like the character of, they can choose to recklessly adopt animals, decorate with excessive quantities of flowers, or in some extreme cases, bring home things abandoned by other people. What if Reina Ryuugu's habit of taking trash home with her was a sign of her mental instability? And what if there was some external factor that could have driven her into those circumstances?
大石さん、
Oishi-san,
確か竜宮玲奈の両親は離婚しているって話でしたよね。
I'm sure you've heard that Reina Ryuugu's parents are divorced, right?
ええ、そうです。
Yep, that's right.
その直後あたりに巴ちゃんが調べてくれた学校内の傷害事件を引き起こしました。
And right after that, she calls the violent incident at school that y'all have investigated, Tomoe-chan.
そして精神科医のカウンセリングを受け、心身に深刻なストレスを抱えているという診断を受けて、心の安定を図るためにこのひなみ沢へ移り住むことになった。
Then, after receiving psychiatric counseling and being diagnosed with severe stress, both mental and physical, it was decided that moving to Hinamizawa would help her stabilize.
前の入院先の看護師がそう教えてくれました。
That's what the nurse at her previous hospital told me.
それなら彼女、この村に来てからはその類の治療をどこで受けているんでしょう。
So, did she receive some kind of medical treatment after coming to this village?
治療ですか？
Medical treatment?
ええ、
Yeah.
少なくともそれが問題で転校したのだとしたら、簡単に通院をやめることはできないはずです。
At least, even if she transferred schools, she shouldn't be able to cease hospitalization so easily. It was an offhanded question, but once Tomoe put it into words, she started feeling even more suspicious. Even if the prosecution dropped the case against the girl who caused the incident, she would still be obligated to stay in long-term counseling for her mental instability. Void Dweller, if you've seen Sumi Horoboshi, it was based on what she was saying, that she desperately wanted to go back to Hinamizawa. Additionally, when relocation makes it impossible to continue using the same medical institution, it is common practice for a similar institution in the new area to inherit the medical records and treatment methods of the original institution.
竜宮レイナはひなみ沢への移転後、大石さんが聞き込みを行った茨城の病院には通っていないというお話でしたよね。
Ueshi-san, after Reina Ryuugu transferred to Hinamizawa, didn't you go to the hospital in Ibaraki to ask about that?
ええ、その通りです。
Yeah, of course.
ですからもし治療を受けるのだとしたら、設備や個人情報の保護を考えると、ゴグラにある大きな大学病院ぐらいしかないと思いますが。
So, if she did receive treatment, there is only one major hospital in Gogura, with the equipment and personnel to help her.
だとしたら、彼女が今どんな状態にあるのか調べることはできないでしょうか。
If that's the case, could we investigate to see what sort of condition she's in now?
ともえちゃん、それはどういう意味です？
Tomoe-chan, what do you mean by that?
竜宮レイナは病気が完治していない。
Reina Ryuugu still hasn't recovered from her illness.
いえ、ある意味で悪化している。
Or rather, in a sense, it's getting worse.
それがあの異常行動や大石さんの言っていたお社様の語りに関与している可能性があるのではと。
And there's a chance that her abnormal behavior might be related to this Oyashiro-sama you mentioned earlier, Ueshi-san. Tomoe gazed at Reina Ryuugu as she tried to dig something out of the mountain of trash, then turned back toward Ueshi.
北条聡がお社様のたたり、つまり今年の殺人事件に関与していた可能性が高いと、先ほど大石さんのお話にもありました。
Satoshi Hojo was involved with Oyashiro-sama's curse. So in other words, there's a high likelihood that it's also connected to this year's murder case, like you mentioned in our earlier conversation.
そして彼女と同じ症状を持つ病気を北条聡も患っていた可能性も考えられる。
And it's possible that Satoshi Hojo is also suffering from a disease with the same symptoms as her. Damn! Tomoe is really insightful.
なぜなら事件前には2人ともお社様に対しての畏怖といった共通認識を持っている。
Because they both had the same fear of Oyashiro-sama before their respective incidents.
ということは、彼女の精神状態と関与の人間を把握することで、北条聡が殺害行為に踏み切る経緯を理解する手がかりになるという考え方はどうでしょう。
And so, by grasping her mental state and understanding the people involved, maybe we can find some clue to help us understand the thought process that drove Satoshi Hojo to commit murder.
では巴ちゃんは竜宮レイナも今回の殺人事件に関与していると。
So, Tomoe-chan, y'all think that Reina Ryuugu might be involved in this murder case?
ちなみに被害者の北条玉江は綿流しの祭りの最中に殺されましたが、竜宮レイナはその事件当時祭りの会場で複数の人間に目撃されています。
How would you even think that she was involved? Like, do you think she teleported over to the freaking hospital or something? Jeez. Incidentally, the victim Tomoe Hojo was killed during the Watanagashi festival, but several people witnessed Reina Ryuugu at the festival grounds at the time of the incident.
アリバイは完璧ですよ。
It's a rock solid alibi.
いえ、その事件とはおそらく竜宮レイナは無関係でしょう。
Oh, I'm glad that she realized that. No, Reina Ryuugu has probably nothing to do with that case.
ただ、彼女が茨城で起こした事件も同様に、大石さんの言う通り、誰かの意志で凶行が引き起こされているのだとしたら。
However, if her incident in Ibaraki was caused by someone else's intention, just as you said,
二人の背後には共通する何かがあってもおかしくはない。
it's not strange to think there's a common element behind both of them.
それが何かが分かれば、ひなみざわ連続開始事件の黒幕の姿が見えてくるのではないでしょうか。
If we can figure out what that is, if we can see who's pulling the strings behind the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa.
説得力はないこともないですが、随分大胆というか強引な推理ですね。
You're certainly not without persuasive power, but that's some bold reason. Ueshi's thoughts stirred around Tomoe's suggestion about mental illness and using faith in Oyashiro-sama to control the village. It seemed like a completely unrelated story, but if Satoshi Hojo suffered from some mental illness that led to the crime, then there was a chance that the mastermind behind the incident was utilizing that mental illness.
無茶な論法であることは分かっています。
I know it's an unreasonable argument.
ただ二人とも事件を起こす際に、お社様が共通のキーワードになっていることがどうしても気になるんです。
But the two of them both use the key word Oyashiro-sama before their incidents, and I can't help but focus on that.
その背後を洗ってみることで、今まで見えなかった何かが見えてくるような、そんな気がします。
If we keep scrubbing at it, we'll be able to see something we couldn't see before. That's how I feel.
なるほど。
I see.
現状では竜宮レイナについての情報が少なすぎるので簡単には判断しかねます。
Now, at the moment, we don't have enough information about Reina Ryuugu to assess her properly.
ただ正直今は八方塞がりの状況です。
Now, at the moment, we don't have enough information about Reina Ryuugu to assess her properly. And the truth is, we're blocked on all sides.
巴ちゃんのその見方にもちょっと乗ってみましょうかね。
So let's try taking your approach, Tomoe-chan. After saying that, Ueshi tossed his cigarette to the ground and stomped it out. Then he glanced at his watch.
それじゃそろそろ引き上げましょうか。
Anyways, It's about time to head out.
余計なところに連れ出してすみませんでしたね。
I'm sorry for dragging you all somewhere unnecessary.
いえ、参考になりました。
No, this was helpful.
この後は当初の予定通り竜宮レイナの父親に会ってみようかと思いますが、よろしいでしょうか。
I was originally planning to visit Reina Ryugu's father after this. Would that be all right?
ねえ、もちろんご案内させていただきますよ。
Yes, of course. I'll lead the way. Then, Uishi walked toward the parked car while twirling the key around his fingertip. Tomoe tried to follow behind him, but she stumbled a bit on a stone and lost her footing.
おっと。
Whoops. Huh? That moment, Tomoe suddenly looked back towards the mountain of garbage and gasped. Off on the edge of her line of sight, there was a girl far enough away to look the size of her little finger. Standing there quietly, staring at Tomoe without moving a muscle. She couldn't quite make out the girl's expression. However, she could clearly feel the cold hostility dwelling in her eyes.
お前は誰だ。
Are you? Baby girl! She shook her head to dismiss the voice in her imagination. Oh, god damn it. There was no way she could hear a voice from this distance. It was difficult to just discern her appearance. Tomoe turned and began walking toward the car, while those thoughts nagged at her. Oh, there's a typo. Nagged at her. Nevertheless, she felt it. It felt like a sharp gaze was burning through her back, and it gave her a chill. Heading back from the garbage mountain, a white building came into view as they approached the center of the village. Oishi went to explain that it was the only little hospital in the village, the EDA clinic.
おや、あれは？
Ooh, what's that? A black car was parked by the front door of the EDA clinic, and a young man in a white coat was talking to another man dressed in a suit. Is EDA talking to... Hello, Fopple, welcome to the stream. Do you have fury? Then, when the man noticed Uishi driving the car, he rushed over to the driver's seat. I bet it's her old boyfriend. Yeah! Oh no, it's Kuma guy. Okay. Oh, Kuma! Ah, Uishi-san. You're just in the right place.
Nice timing です。
Nice timing.
クマちゃん、どうしてここに？
Oh, I didn't think you would be in the console arts too. That's right, I get to be in the console arts too. Kuma-chan, what the hell are you doing here in the console arts?
いやー、大石さんがHinamizawaに行くっていうから、てっきり入江診療所に向かったのかなって。
Well, you said you were going to Hinamizawa, Uishi-san. So, I guess that you were going to the area clinic. I gotta get in a cameo somehow.
警察無線も繋がらなかったから、直接迎えに来たんですよ。
I couldn't reach you on the police radio, so I came here directly to meet you.
無線が？おかしいな。
Radio? That's weird. As soon as he heard that, Uishi fiddled with the radio beside the steering wheel. Every sound effect they have is gun related. It's like they bought a sound effects package of only things related to guns. And then nothing else. That's what it feels like. That was clearly the sound of when, like, a gun doesn't have any more bullets. Like... As soon as he heard that, Uishi fiddled with the radio beside the steering wheel. Indeed, the light was out, and there was no indication it was receiving transmissions.
あら、本当だ。これは面倒かけちゃいましたね。
Oh, it really isn't working. What a bother. What a bother. No, Winnie the Pooh, get out of here.
で、何のご用で？
So, did y'all need something?
あれ、忘れてましたか？
Huh? Did you forget?
今日って例の懇親会の日じゃないですか。
Today's the day of the get-together meeting, isn't it?
なのに発起人はどこに行ったって所長が大騒ぎしてるんで、大急ぎで呼びに来たんですよ。
But the chief was making a fuss since the meeting organizer wasn't in. So I came here in a hurry.
発起人って誰ですか？
Meeting organizer? Who's that?
大石さんですよ。
It's you, Uishi-san, you big doofus. Oh my god. As soon as he said that, Uishi stopped to think for a while before shouting, "Oh!" and smacked his forehead.
そうでした、そうでした。ああ、今日月曜だったんですよね。
Right. Today is Monday, isn't it? How the hell could you forget Mondays? It's the feast day of the week.
てっきり祝日気分で日曜日のつもりでいちゃってましたよ。
Thanks to the holiday, it still felt like Sunday. Even though you were dressed in it wake.
まったくもう。
Oh wow. It's not yada yada. Good grief.
で、この方は？
So, new cop, who this?
あ、お初にお目にかかります。
This is our first time meeting.
柿内署の警部で南井と申します。
My name is Minai. I'm the chief inspector from Tokihogushi Station. As Tomoe stepped out of the car, she bowed her head to the man Uishi called Kuma-chan. Uishi went on to introduce the man as a subordinate of his, Detective Kumagai.
で、どうします、大石さん。
So, what are you gonna do, Uishi-san?
今からならまだ間に合いますが。
If we leave now, we can still make it in time.
ですが、ともいちゃんとの約束もありますからね。
That's true, but I also made a promise to Tomoe-chan.
あ、でしたら大石さんは行っちゃってください。
Oh, if that's the case, then please go, Uishi-san.
私一人で行ってきますので。
I'll go on alone.
いやいや、そういうわけにはいきませんよ。
Oh dear, I can't do that. Oh, if I was at that lovely, completely, totally not boring meeting and giving a speech, oh man, that would be great. But I swore, nay, I promised to deliver Tomoe-chan to the father's house of Reina Ryuugu. And that's what I will do. I hate to miss that long, boring meeting, but I'll do it for the sake of the investigation. And for you, Tomoe-chan.
竜宮家の場所をご存知なんですか？
I can't do that. Do you know how to get to Ryuugu residence?
あ、いえ。
No. Oh, thank God.
でもさっき車で来た感じだとこの村って割と見通しのいい区画のようですから。
But based on the drive up here, this seems like a fairly nice area.
メモ書き程度の地図があれば大丈夫だと思います。
I think I'll be alright with a map and some notes. God dang it!
まあ、確かに迷うほどの場所ではありませんが。
Well, this is definitely not the place to get lost, you know, with all the fancy smancy demons we got around here, all spooky. Ooh, jump scares, it's Hinamizawa. Sure as hell wouldn't want a young lady getting lost in this village of terror. I really better take you to wink wink Reina's father's house. Uishi crossed his arms and groaned, still trying to decide.
心配してくれるのは嬉しいけど
I appreciate your concern, but still. Tomoe bitterly smiled. Apparently, Uishi still had a strong image of her from the old days and was treating her like a child. She certainly took heed to Uishi's words in the beginning and paid careful attention to her surroundings, but none of the villagers out and about seemed at all concerned. Well, it'll probably be fine. Famous last words. His defensive posture seemed a little excessive.
まあ大石さんも心配性ですね
I understand that you're worried, Uishi-san.
こう見えても私立派な大人なんですよ
Take a good look. I'm an adult, you know?
それにここに来るまで特に問題もなかったじゃないですか
And we haven't run into any problems since coming here, have we?
まあそうですね。
Well, I suppose that's true.
それじゃ申し訳ありませんが、私はここで失礼させていただきます。
In that case, I must apologize for leaving you all behind.
あ、その車でも大丈夫ですか？
Oh, will y'all be alright with this car?
ええ無線が使えないのはちょっときついですけど
Yeah, although it might be a bit of a problem that I can't use the radio. You know, because it's 1982 and we don't have any cell phones.
すみませんお手数ですが地図をいただけますでしょうか
And sorry to be a bother, but do you have a map I could use?
わかりました。ちょっと待ってくださいね。
Got it! Just a moment. Oh, dang, I have to go to that goddamn boring meeting. Fucking hell. And then, Uishi tore a page out of his police notebook and quickly drew a map, then handed it to Tomoe. The text was a bit hard to read, but it was way easy to understand since he marked every street corner.
ともえちゃん。
Tomoe-chan.
はい
Yes?
一応用心のために言っておきます。
For now, let me just say this in the interest of caution.
竜宮家の訪問が終わったら、まっすぐ沖宮へ戻ってきてください。
Please come straight back to Okunomiya as soon as you're done visiting the Ryuugu household.
それだけは約束してもらえませんか？
Can you promise me that?
だからオーバーですってば大石さん
Uishi-san, you're overreacting. Uishi wasn't smiling. God dang it, woman! You have no idea how terrifying this place can be. He stared at Tomoe with a solemn expression as he handed her the key. It felt like he was a little worried about the situation, but he gave a satisfied nod.
わかりました
Understood.
父親に会って話が聞けましたらまっすぐ帰るようにします
I'll head straight back after I meet the father and hear a story.
私も挨拶を済ませたらさっさと沖宮署に戻って待っていますので。
I'll head back to Okunomiya Station as soon as I can to wait for y'all.
もし何かありましたら遠慮なく連絡してください。
If you need anything, please do not hesitate to contact me with the police radio that doesn't work. God dang it.
はい
Got it.
それじゃあこの車お借りしますね
Thanks for letting me borrow this car. After saying that, Tomoe took the key from Uishi, climbed into the car, and started the engine. Uichi watched through the rearview mirror until Tomoe's car disappeared around the corner. I love this background. The autumn setting here is beautiful. Tomoe drove toward the Ryuugu household, following the notes Uishi provided her. She found the house with less trouble than expected.
ここか。
Is that it? She stepped out of the car, closed the door, and suddenly looked over her surroundings. There were no particular signs of other people around. Then she stood in front of the entrance, took a deep breath, and lightly knocked on the door.
ごめんください。
Okay, before they start the interview here, I gotta go take a quick bathroom break. I will be right back. Okay, I just slipped a bit. I'm okay, relax. I don't know what it was. It's like the ground didn't seem too these socks. These socks are so warm, but they are slippery as fuck. Don't worry, I'm fine. I'm fine. You guys are being really sweet, but that's okay. I'm fine. Just 1 second. Alright, let's get back to the story. I'm totally fine, you guys, don't worry. Excuse me,
リュウグウさんはいらっしゃいますか？
is Ryuugu-san here? However, there was no response from inside. She knocked once more, this time a little louder, but she couldn't hear anything from inside.
ごめんください。
May I come in? Still no reply.
留守かな。
Not home, huh? Jeez, that was a weird sneeze. What is up with me today? Not home, huh? Suddenly feeling something out of place near her feet, she dropped her eyes and noticed something like blue paper near the tips of her shoes. When she picked it up, it was a small box of matches.
ブルーマーメイドか。
I remember this. Oh, God. Oh, fucking Reina. And her slutty ways. Oh, God. Blue Mermaid. Huh? Tomoe was about to pull the name out of short-term memory after seeing the flashy logo. There certainly was a flashy cabaret club named Blue Mermaid in one particular corner of the downtown area. Naturally, that store was no place for a minor. This was probably dropped by Ryuugu's father.
確か父親は無職だって聞いたけど。
That's right. I heard the father was unemployed. If so, he was in a good position. Tomoe had a prejudice against people who spend time at bars downtown without having a regular job. According to earlier investigation, he apparently received considerable compensation from his wife at the time of their divorce. But is there any chance that's the cause of his daughter's problems?
あれ？
Huh? He should have probably invested the money. Although, given this stage in what's going to happen to the Japanese economy a few years from then, maybe it's probably not. It's probably a better idea that he didn't. Tomoe's eyes turned to a strange object in the yard. When she softly stepped on it, it was some sort of mascot doll from a store, weathered by elements. Oh, I gotta read this comment from Fawful. Mr. Ryuugu is out with Reina! Simply by seeing these matches, this level of reasoning is possible for Barude Erica! What do you think, everyone? Oh, God, I had to read that because I haven't done Erica in forever. That's right, Collier! You know it! You missed the greatest detective that's ever lived! I do. Even if you can be really annoying. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Thank you, Fawful, for reminding me of Erica's shenanigans. She could be a really horrible person, but goddamn if she was not entertaining. Tomoe's eyes turned to a strange object in the yard, where she softly stepped on it. Oh yeah, I've heard about that. And looking more closely, there were various dolls, stuffed animals, and things resembling machine parts set down beside it. It looked like they were carelessly sat down, rather than deliberately positioned.
じゃあ一体あの子はゴミ山で何を？
What on earth is she doing with that mountain of garbage? She did speculate earlier that an unstable mental state could be leading her to this act of garbage collection, and her remarks about Oyashido-sama. After all, Reina Ryuugu's mental state could be the reason for her unusual actions, and that theory was getting stronger and stronger. That moment, Tomoe suddenly felt something behind her and turned back. She couldn't see anything there. However...
何
What?
何なの
What the... She could hear... Oh, what? Already? Already? Damn. Hanyu be working quickly. She could hear a sound intermittently, and when she realized it was the sound of footsteps, a chill ran through her whole body.
サトシ君が体験していることはすべてお社様のたたりの前触れなの。
Everything Satoshi-kun has been experiencing is an omen of Oyashida-sama's curse.
誰かが遠くからじっと伺っている。
Someone is staring at you from a distance.
誰かがずっとつけてくる。
Someone is constantly following you.
誰かがいつも自分のすぐ後ろから見ている。
Someone is always watching you from behind.
やがて足音は常に自分とずれて一つ余計に聞こえるようになるの。
Eventually, you'll be able to hear an extra footstep that wasn't your own.
Remembering Uishi's earlier story about Reina Ryuugu, Tomoe suddenly turned pale and swallowed her spit. I don't know, Void Dweller, that's why I'm saying. Hanyu's working overtime here. What am I afraid of? Even after hearing that story, isn't it unreasonable to get this nervous? In which case, how do you explain that sound just now? She tried many times to shake it off as just her imagination, but every single time, pat, 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 tip, 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 tip. Ow, 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 ow. The footsteps immediately negated that denial, as if to mock her. Pat, 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 tip, 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 tip. Ow, 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 ow. Even after surveying the surrounding area, nobody was there. There was nothing suspicious at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. What is the meaning of this? Could this be what Reina Ryuugu was referring to? Oyashida-sama's curse? Did she anger the gods by snooping around in a village where she didn't belong?
No, it's not that. I just want to warn her.
There is no such thing. Tomoe forced a laugh while struggling to deny the story she heard earlier. Impossible. That's right, it's impossible. Bakana. Someone, or some ghost-like entity, was definitely following her.
It's the second one. Oh, no.
Even so, Tomoe couldn't cast aside the creepy sensations plaguing her heart, so she left the Ryuugu household in a hurry. Then she opened the door to Uishi's car, jumped inside, and turned the key. I fucking swear! These sound effects! My god, these sound effects suck. If it isn't the gun cocking, it's the gun that's out of bullets. Ah, jeez. Seriously. Seriously. Huh? However, the engine wouldn't start. It simply continued making idle sounds. Oh, fuckberries. Finding that suspicious, Tomoe opened the door, and at that point, she suddenly noticed the pungent smell of gasoline.
何これ
What is this? Tomoe stepped out of the car and stood beside it, searching for the source of the old odor. It was the gas cap in the back of the car. It was smashed open, and there was a fuel hose. Oh, holy shit, damn. My God. The mountain hounds are working overtime today. It was smashed open, and there was a fuel hose for a kerosene stove or something laying on the ground below, covered in gasoline.
そんな
No way. That couldn't be the work of a ghost. But did that mean there was a person with malicious intentions nearby? She fought hard to suppress the urge to panic. Someone must have drained the fuel tank using this hose and spilled it on the ground. Technically, doing so wasn't impossible. Still, she was only away from the car for a few minutes. Not only that, but even though Tomoe went into the Ryuugu family's yard, she wasn't all that far away. Could some suspicious individual have skillfully carried out the act while remaining completely unnoticed? I assume so. You know, they're trained military. Although not in combat. Tomoe looked left and right, then behind her, searching for signs of another person. Nothing. Nobody was there? Impossible. That couldn't be. Someone was able to break the gas cap, drain the gas from the car, and then disappear in such a brief time frame? This couldn't be the work of humans. Then, was it the work of the gods or something supernatural? That's right. Absolutely right, Tomoe. Hanyu broke open into your car with her ghost hands, and she pried it open with the crowbar. Then she siphoned all your gas, just to fuck with you. I don't know why she did it, but you got it. You totally got it.
そんなことない
I could totally picture Hanyu doing that. It would be very, very funny. It can't be. Tomoe violently shook her head, then locked the car and started walking back the way she came. If her memory was correct, there should be a police box just a short distance away. Police box? Are we in Doctor Who now? If she could make it there and contact Uishi or someone. Every time she took a step, she could hear the peculiar sound of a footstep just a moment later. Damn, the friggin' train really wanted to be in the video today. It had to be an auditory hallucination. She must just be tired. After hearing so many strange and unsettling stories, her emotions were getting carried away. Tomoe told herself that over and over along the way. But even so, up until now she wasn't afraid of ghosts. She didn't even believe they existed. But for the first time in her life, she felt a fear that froze her entire body. She arrived at a fork in the road, with a telephone booth right as it got completely dark out.
よかった間に合って
Thank goodness, I made it in time. This telephone booth has been the site of so many happenings. This is like a tourist attraction in and of itself. Like a nexus of the universe right here. Tomoe wiped the sweat from her forehead with her sleeve as she rushed into the telephone booth. I thought she said it was a police box, which confused me because that's like a thing from Doctor Who. But yeah, it's just the telephone booth that they always use. The road had very few streetlights, so if she had arrived just a little later, she might have stumbled upon on her own feet in the dark. She did bring a flashlight and kept it in her car just in case, but unfortunately, she forgot to take it with her. Don't!
慌てすぎだ。
I'm getting flustered. Brilliant idea, Fopple. Of course, they took the fuel to power the train. Of course. Tomoe muttered her bitter thoughts as she picked up the receiver. Yes, my daughter. However, it was also true that she didn't want to stay in that place for even a moment longer. Was it less a sense of dread and more general agitation and feeling of danger? Or... Tomoe inserted 3 10-yen coins, then opened her police notebook and dialed the number for Okonomiya Station. After hearing a few rings, she heard the voice of an older man saying, "Hello!"
あ、すみません。
Excuse
竹
me.
内署の南と申しますが、大石刑事よ。
This is Minai from Higurashi Station. Detective Uishi and I...
おお、ともえちゃんですか？
Oh, is that Tomoe-chan? Did Hinamizawa fuck you over 5 ways to Sunday? Yes. First time, isn't it? I knew that would happen. Yeah, this place is hell on earth. I'll come pick you up.
私です。大石ですよ。ん？
It's me, Uishi.
大石さん、どうして？
Uishi-san. Why?
いえいえ、あんまり戻りが遅いものですから、心配になって情報センターで連絡をお待ちしていたんですよ。
Sorry. Y'all were taking a long time to get back, so I was feeling worried and decided to wait at the information desk for you to make contact.
いやー、連絡がついて安心しましたよ。
Whew! I'm relieved you finally called.
今どちらですか？
Where are you now?
あ、はい。
Right.
南沢村の電話ボックスの中なんですが。
I'm at a phone booth in Hinamizawa village. Tomoe briefly explained the story of the gas being drained from the car. When Uishi heard that, he responded, "Understood." Understood? In a low voice that indicated he fully grasped the situation.
すぐに迎えをそちらにやらせます。
I'll head out to meet you right away.
私も行きますので、10分ほど待っていてもらえますか？
Can you wait for about 10 minutes?
すみません。助かります。
I'm sorry. Thanks for the help.
では、ここでお待ちしていますので。
Then I'll be waiting here.
A あまり歩き回ると危険ですから、そこでじっとしていてください。
It's a bit dangerous to walk around, so please do stay there. I gotta read Poffle's comment because it's hilarious. Tomoe is saying, "My car has died, although you may or may not find it. I don't know why it has become like this. To whoever finds this, please uncover the truth of this incident. It is my only desire. Tomoe Minai." And then the Higurashi logo, and then the credits roll. It's a bit dangerous to walk around, so please do stay there. As I said, Live in hell.
それじゃ。
See you soon. Or not. If you get eaten by a monster. Uishi hung up the phone after saying that. She let out a heavy sigh of relief as she set the phone on the hook. She already knew that. She wasn't some child afraid of non-existent things in the dark. But the situation had gotten heavy enough that Tomoe wasn't able to walk anymore.
きっと大石さんたちにはしばらくネタにされちゃうだろうな。
I'm sure Uishi and the others are going to tease me about this for a while. Although, Tomoe didn't have the greatest eyesight in the dark, so walking at night was a bad choice anyway. It was best to avoid getting hurt by tripping and falling into a ditch.
それにしても
Anyway, Tomoe couldn't help but grumble to herself. Regrettably, her long time living in the city had made her forget how dark and gloomy a country road at night could be. It wasn't so bad in Ibaraki, although she did have to carry a flashlight at night.
軟着になったな。
I've
私も
gotten soft. Once again, she let out a sigh. The telephone pole she could see through the glass was dimly lit and making an irritating sound. There were countless shadows darting around from moths or some other type of insect. As soon as they approached the round light bulb, they were either blown away by the heat or burned and gently fall to the ground.
飛んで火にいる夏の虫。
Rushing to their own demise. She couldn't help but shake her head. As she thought that, Tomoe pushed the door open, trying to get out of the enclosed space and get some fresh air. Oh, God!
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
terrified beyond all reasoning.
Okay. Just making sure. See ya. Have a wonderful time.
Yes. Okay.
Bye.
That moment, Tomoe couldn't help but lightly raise her voice and immediately jump back to steel herself. Ahead of her was a girl, expressionlessly staring at her with icy cold eyes.
あなたは
Who are you? She didn't get a good look at her face. She does. She looks like an adult here. I gotta say, yeah, she does look grown up. She was only able to make out the hairstyle and clothes from far away. However, Tomoe clearly realized that the girl in front of her was Reina Ryuugu.
何か私に用が
Do you need something from me?
私に何の用？
Do you need something from me?
Tomoe's words were cut off by Reina Ryuugu, striking back at her with the same exact question, and still no expression on her face. The coldness in her tone was as sharp as a knife. The two eyes staring straight at her had a sinister glow amongst the darkness.
ね
Hey,
え、私に
do you
何の
need something
用？
from me?
God, she is so badass! A stiff chill coursed through Tomoe's back. Without her even realizing it, the girl had already trapped her within that narrow box.
Reina slowly stepped into the box to squeeze her even tighter. Holy shit, damn. Like, I could... They took away the CG, but I could see like those little like the menacing aura thing from JoJo's like practically around Reina at this point. And then she noticed Tomoe's police notebook and stared at Tomoe with all her strength.
刑事か
A detective. Huh. Well.
刑事かお前
You're a detective, aren't you?
そうよ
That's right.
だったら知ってるの
Then you already know, right?
私のことお前は知ってるな
You already know who I am, right?
That stupid sound effect. God, I wish I could just disable it. Tomoe felt her neck being tightened as Reina stood right in front of her, staring her down. That is a pretty cool dress, I gotta say. I really love it on her. I don't think she wore this in the official arcs. This is a brand new sprite, I think. It happened so suddenly, Tomoe was unable to react. Ugh.
死ね
Holy shit!
Die.
リュウク
Oh my god. Ryuugu-sa.
死ねおバカさん
Die, you dumb bunny.
Holy shit, jeez. I feel like I got a bad ending or something. How's she gonna get out of this? The scene before her eyes gradually grew darker. Her forehead was in pain, and it felt cold and heavy inside her head. She repeatedly opened and closed her mouth, gasping, but not a sound came out. Even breathing was impossible. As hard as she tried to tear the hands away from her neck, they remained tight. In fact, the grip grew even stronger, and the nails even started biting into her throat. She could hear something, a sound from far away. No, this is someone's voice? What are you? And then, Tomoe lost consciousness.
Now it's time for the Banner Show starring Riddle. It's the Banner Show. We've got lots of great guests.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, she's still alive somehow. Damn. I gotta say, Reina is just so badass. She was able to freaking stare down an adult detective like that. Like, ugh, God. Seriously, Reina is so badass.
あれ
Huh? Like, because we know how strong she is. Like, she is, like, I originally thought that her strength was going to be a plot point. But it never really turned out to be one, like, something that the story actually went into. No, she just happens to be freakishly strong. That's just the thing that is existing in the story randomly. That never truly got explained. It's just an aspect of Reina. Huh? When Tomoe opened her eyes, an unfamiliar ceiling came into view. Did she just beat an angel? She felt cool indoor air and sensed the faint smell of medicine. And then she felt the sun shining in and heard the crying of the sparrows from outside the window. So Tomoe recognized that it was now early morning.
ここはどこ?
Where am I? She felt a cold sensation on her back as soon as she began to move. It was an ice pack. Feeling a bit more awake, Tomoe rose up from the bed and took a look around. But the dull pain in her head forced a groan out of her.
Oh yeah?
Oh, EDA! You're here too? Oh, that is so cool! Oh. A person on the other side of the curtain seemed to hear that and rose from their chair. Then a young man in a white coat peeked his face through the gap between the curtains.
Yeah. 気がつかれましたか?
Oh dear, you must have been tired.
え?
Huh?
はい。
Yeah.
安心してください。
Don't worry.
ここは村の診療所で、私は医者の入江と申します。
This is the village clinic. I'm Dr. Irie.
どうも。
Nice to meet you. The young doctor named Irie responded to her greeting with a big smile.
そういえば、診療所に立ち寄った時に見かけたような。
Come to think of it, I saw him when we stopped at the clinic. Then she finally turned her eyes toward her clothes. Tomoe was dressed in a hospital gown, rather than the suit she had been wearing earlier.
ああ、心配しないでください。
Please don't be concerned.
着替えを行ったのはうちの看護師ですから。
Our nurse changed your clothes.
治療も怪我の消毒と栄養剤を注射しただけですよ。
Your treatment involved disinfecting your wounds and injecting an injection of nutrients.
どうも。
Thanks.
ちょっと待っていてください。
Please wait a moment.
今、大石さんを呼んできますので。
I'll give you Ushisana a call now. After Dr. Irie said that, he went behind his curtain and made his way out of the room. She gently raised her left sleeve. Yup, she was probably injected with that stuff. There was a bandage on her elbow, and when she lifted it, she saw the mark left by an injection needle, just as Dr. Irie had said. Yep, this is part 8. It's a really long part, as damn. I thought doing part of it last time would ameliorate that, but nope, it's just a long ass part. The anti, syndrome stuff. Oh yeah, that's right. We did change chapters. There was a chapter break right after she passed out from Reina fucking murdering her. I remember now. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we did change chapters. Yep, we are now in part 9. And this part is not going to be finished because, it's also quite a long part. I'll see if I can't finagle it though to make everything else work out. Oh no. Yeah, Tokihogushi is going to be really difficult with the chapter links. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more chapters, including this one. Or wait, 1. No, not including this one. Yep. But they're not an hour long each. They're not 2 hours long each, so yeah. Oh no, EDA wouldn't do that, Void Dweller. Unless it was, a certain somebody who did that. Oh yeah. Before long, a flurry of footsteps could be heard approaching, and the door of someone violently sprung open. Then, Uishi emerged from the other side of the curtain.
気がつきましたか、ともえちゃん。
Tomoe-chan, are you alright?
大石さん
Uishi-san.
いやー、よかったよかった。
Thank goodness.
ずっと目を覚まさないから一時はどうなることかと心配しましたよ。
I was getting worried since you didn't wake up for such a long time.
Uishi had a look of joy on his face as he took a seat in a folding chair by her side. His eyes were bloodshot and a little hazy.
すみませんご心配をおかけしました
I'm sorry to make you worry.
いえいえ、無事でいてくれて何よりです。
Oh no, your safety is more important than anything else.
あなたにもしものことがあったら、私は柿内のまどかちゃんに殺されちゃいますからね。
If anything happened to you, Madoka-chan and Gakuichi would kill me.
「そんな大げさな
You're exaggerating. I don't think she's immune, Void Dweller, because they don't perfect a vaccine or anything like that. Tomoe smiled, but Uishi's mutterings felt completely the opposite. Madoka normally had a cynical attitude and would tease her sister, but she was actually more proud and worried about her than anyone else. If something happened to Tomoe and it was his fault, she would never forgive him.
お加減はいかがですか？
How are you feeling?
どこか体に痛みとかはありますか？
Are you feeling any pain anywhere?
頭がちょっと痛いくらいで特には
My head does hurt a little, but it's not that bad.
睡眠不足ですね。
Sleep deprivation.
それと過労も溜まっているようです。
It seems to have built up due to overwork.
ここしばらくあまり十分に寝ておられないんじゃないですか？
Even after all the time you spent here, I guess you still haven't gotten enough sleep. She felt ashamed as soon as he pointed that out. There were so many things to do lately that she had simply been taking short naps in the break room. She had gone a week or two before returning home to pick up new clothes.
いけませんよ、ともえちゃん。
That's no good, Tomoe-chan.
お忙しいのはわかりますが、睡眠不足は年頃の女性にとって大敵なんですからね。
Are you telling that to me, Uishi? Oh, jeez.
I understand you're busy, but lack of sleep is a huge problem for a woman of your age. Hint, hint, collider.
分かってますよ
I realize that. She started to think it over. Even though she had intended to take some time off during the long holiday, why was she here? Tomoe grumbled to herself while letting out a dejected sigh.
とりあえず大事はないんですね、入江先生。
For now, it's nothing serious. Right, here he is, Sensei.
ええ、おそらくは。
Yes, most likely.
頭に少しコブはできていますが、転んだ時にぶつけただけのようなので大丈夫でしょう。
You do have a bump on your head. But it seems you just hit it when you fell, so you should be fine. What is going on here?
転んだ時
When I fell?
ああ、それはよかった。
Are they covering up what happened? Yeah, I was not ad-libbing for That's No Good because I just made him say it like Sonic because you know the opportunity was there.
That's good to hear.
入江先生、ちょいとともえちゃんと二人で話がしたいんですが、よろしいですか？
Irie Sensei, y'all mind if I talk to Tomoe-chan alone for a little while?
ええ、どうぞ。
Sure, go right ahead.
隣の部屋が診察室なので、何かありましたら呼んでください。
Well, let's see if there. I'll think about that, Fawful. Then we shouldn't. There is one tip after this chapter, but we are not going to get to it on this stream. That's for sure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters left after this one. So yeah. So yeah, roughly four more streams for Tokihogushi. It could be even less. Oh, I'm fully spoiled on Higurashi. Fawful. You know that. You've seen you've commented on my Matsuda Bayashi. So don't worry about that. I'll be in the exam room next door. Call me if you need anything. Cheerio. Dr. Irie left the room after saying that. God damn it! These sound effects! Uishi locked the door with the friggin' gun, apparently. Then returned to his chair at Tomoe's bedside and sat down again. Huh? I'm reading these arcs blind, but I've already seen the full Higurashi story, all 8 main episodes. I've never read the console arcs before though, and I have no idea what happens. These arcs are blind, Void Dweller, but the main arcs are not. Well, the main arcs were blind when I did them, but obviously, I'm not blind to them now, because you've seen that I've already done them. Uishi locked the door with his gun, apparently, then returned his chair at Tomoe's bedside and sat down again.
I'm sorry about yesterday.
Huh? Tomoe stared vacantly after Uishi's sudden apology.
ともえちゃんの連絡を受けてから車を飛ばして電話ボックスに駆けつけたらあなたが中でぐったりと倒れていましたからね。
Tomoe-chan, I rushed to my car and flew to the phone booth as soon as I received your message and found you collapsed inside.
正直まさかと思って酔いどころか肝が冷えましたよ。
Honestly, I was a little drunk, but the sight completely sobered me up.
すみません。
Sorry about that.
で、大石さん、まさか飲酒運転してませんよね。
Wait a minute. No, wait, Uishi-san. Were you driving inebriated?
大丈夫ですよ。
It's alright.
運転させたのは若手で、そいつにはもともと一滴も飲ませていませんでしたからね。
There was another young man at the wheel, and he didn't drink a single drop.
It was probably Kumagai. So, Uishi had made preparations to pick her up in the event of an emergency. and those preparations indicated how wary he was of the danger in Hinamizawa.
ま、そっちに気が回るようなら意識もはっきりしているようですね。
Well, if you're concerned about that, it seems like your head is fully cleared up.
ならちょっと質問をさせてください。
In which case, allow me to ask a question.
ともちゃん、昨日の晩に何があったんですか？
Tomoe-chan, what happened last night?
昨日の晩って
Last night.
Hey, it's me again. Seeing your nightmares.
That moment. The last memory before Tomoe lost consciousness came back to her, and she immediately placed her hand against her neck. It stung, like the skin was burning up. Either that really happened, or she's already suffering from that. And when she tightened it, the feeling of suffocation she felt when it was being squeezed back then resurfaced. So she jumped and started to feel nauseous.
そうだあの時
That's right. Back then. Reina and Ryuugu ambushed her and strangled her as she tried to exit the telephone booth. Tomoe desperately resisted, but the tremendous strength was too much to overcome. The vision in front of her eyes went black, and then she lost consciousness. Yeah, that's one thing that, you're just told to accept as part of the story that never really gets explained at all, is just Rena's incredible strength. And you usually let it go because it's usually used for comedy scenes. But, they keep it up in a lot of the more serious scenes as well. Just how incredibly strong and physically it fit, like Reina is. Like, she can do so much damage. She could probably be, if she wanted to, she could probably be a street-level superhero. Like, seriously, with her abilities. Tomoe desperately resisted, but their tremendous strength was too much to overcome, so the vision in front of her eyes went black, and then she lost consciousness. But why? If that was the case, why was she still alive? That's what I'm wondering.
Die. You're done, bunny.
Her entire body began to shake as a chill ran through her. Reina Ryuugu was definitely trying to kill Tomoe last night. Her intense hatred and violent murderous intent were plain to see, even in the dark night. She had those purple JoJo marks flying around her. Her fingernails bit into Tomoe's throat hard enough to snap bones, and she was completely merciless.
ならどうして私を殺すのをやめた
Then, why did she stop before killing me? Did she notice Higurashi coming and running away? No, there's no way they would have overlooked the signs of an attacker. Then did she let Tomoe go because she wasn't worth killing? That too seemed unlikely. Reina Ryuugu was relentlessly attacking at the time, like a wild animal. Then why on earth did she do it? As much as Tomoe thought it over, she still couldn't find a reason why her life was spared.
Yeah? どうしました？
What's wrong, Tomoe-chan?
あいえ
Oh, it's nothing.
真っ暗の中にいきなりで相手の顔を見る暇もありませんでした
It happened so suddenly and it was dark, so I didn't get a chance to see the attacker's face. But I could tell you one thing, it definitely was not a freakishly strong teenage girl. who can be rather terrifying when she wants to be, and is also our main suspect. Definitely not that.
ほう、柔道三段の巴ちゃんを気絶させるなんざ、よっぽどの武道の達人ですね。
Ho, 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 ho. It's hard to believe someone could have gotten the better of a level 3 judo master like herself, Tomoe-chan. She'd have to be some kind of superhuman freak.
剣道です。
Kendo. As she made that offhand comment, Tomoe suddenly realized something suspicious. Based on their encounter at the garbage mountain, Reina Ryuugu didn't look especially strong for someone her age. In fact, even though Reina's school records show she was fairly capable, Tomoe was even stronger at her age. But despite that, she wasn't able to fight back at all during the attack.
そういえば、あの事件でも。
Does Hinamizawa syndrome give people superpowers? Come to think of it, it was like that in one case too. The violent attack at the Ibaraki school, yeah. She, was ridiculously strong there too. When Reina Ryuugu was walking down the hallway swinging a metal bat and smashing windows, they said it took multiple people, including the PE teacher, to stop her. Thinking about that, it was an outrageous story. Are we actually going to talk about why Reina is so strong? That is a great thing to have a console arc about, because that is something I always wondered about. If they asked, why the fuck is Reina so freakishly strong? Could a group of strong adults really struggle to stop a young girl on a rampage?
それで、この後どうします？
So, what are you gonna do now?
入江先生の話だと、体力の回復のためにも、一日入院して安静にすべきということなんですが。
Yurie-sensei says you should stay in the hospital for another day to recover your physical strength.
いえ、起きます。
No, I'll get up.
とても寝ている場合じゃありませんから。
This is no time to be sleeping around.
そうですか。
Is that so?
わかりました。
Understood.
なら一度、沖宮署に戻りますか。
In which case, we shall have to return to Okunomiya Station once more, for old time's sake.
どうしました？
What's the matter?
そこにいると着替えられないんですけど。
I can't change my clothes with you standing there.
ああ、私のことは気にしないで。
I don't mind. Go ahead.
どうぞどうぞ。
Please go right ahead.
私が気にするんです。
I do mind.
こいつは失礼しました。
Please forgive me. I had to try.
After saying that, Uishi stepped outside the curtain and turned his back. She was ready to pummel Uishi if he tried to peep at her. Thinking that, Tomoe picked up her blouse and skirt and started to change her clothes on the side of the curtain. That's what I was thinking, Boy Dweller, does it? I wonder. I don't know if that was something Irie mentioned. If it maximizes adrenaline and muscle capacity.
Tomoe-chan?
Tomoe-chan!
覗いたらぶっ飛ばしますよ。
I swear I will fucking beat the shit out of you if you peek.
リュウグウレイナが現在不定期に通っている病院の裏が取れました。
Oh, I just got back from the hospital. Reina Ryuugu visits from time to time.
やはりゴグラにある大学病院だそうです。
Just as y'all thought, it's apparently a remote university hospital in Gogura.
Huh? Tomoe slipped her arm through the last sleeve on her jacket, then turned towards Uishi on the other side of the curtain. According to Uishi, Reina Ryuugu had been witnessed several times at this hospital. Her visits were irregular, so it could have been simply due to seasonal illness, but Tomoe couldn't help but think it over. A housewife who knew the girl just happened to run into her at the hospital and tried calling out to her twice. But even though she clearly noticed the woman, she ignored her as if she didn't know her.
その主婦さんとうまい具合に昨夜の懇親会でお会いして、ちょっとした話題をきっかけに教えていただけました。
I had a friendly meeting with that housewife last night, and she was able to tell me a bit more on the subject.
彼女の話だとリュウグ・レイナは誰にでも割と愛想のいい子なんですが。
According to her, everybody thinks Reina Ryuugu is a cheerful and friendly girl.
その時は感じが違っていたので、よほど体調が悪いのかと心配になったそうですよ。
But at that time, she felt different. The woman was worried that she wasn't feeling well.
ただ、あっちでの聞き込み調査は県警本部さんか沖宮とは違う警察署さんの管轄でしてね。
However, the investigation was handled by Prefectural Police HQ, so it's outside the normal Okunomiya Police Department jurisdiction. God damn it.
私らには手も足も出んのです。
So our hands were tied.
まして令状の発行なんてほぼ不可能だから、相当に活動は制限されちゃいますよ。それでも行きますか。
We're still planning to go despite that.
もちろんです。
Of course. She answered immediately. Tomoe's fast and courageous judgment was the number one reason why she kept his eyes on her.
さて、ここか。
After stepping out in front of the hospital, Tomoe pointed her finger and rang that out. This is probably one of the largest scale general hospitals in the Chubu region. It was furnished with the latest equipment and technology, and thanks to that it was full of talented young staff. However, any patient seeking treatment is required to present a letter of recommendation. Really? Jesus Christ. So anyone coming here without one is typically referred to as to a secondary office. But more importantly, they were extremely reliable when it came to patient care and protection of personal information. Even though it was a work day, the waiting room was packed with people waiting for exams.
商売繁盛ね。
Now that's a thriving business.
いい話じゃないけど。
Although I'm not sure that's a good thing. It's not particularly desirable for police and hospitals to be extremely busy. Just then,
あれ？
huh? There was a pharmacy just beyond the hallway of the waiting room. A nurse at the window was looking down at a girl bowing her head, handing over a prescription.
よろしくお願いします。
Oh, Natsumi's back! Okay, you guys. I didn't want to save on a black screen because I hate leaving it on a completely black screen. But wow, this was a really nice one. I thoroughly enjoyed today's Higurashi. Thank you all so much for joining me for this today. And we will continue this in 2 days on Monday. On Sunday, I mean. And tomorrow, more Seabed. So look forward to that if you're among that audience. Without further ado, thank you so much, and I just want to say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.